Okay. We're doing biceps. That's a good warm up set. Fudgicles. Why do I have to be getting old? I'm like fucking 36. Do what I want you to do. It's bad enough my fucking brain doesn't work, right? I mean, my brain works fine, it just doesn't communicate with my body correctly. You know, like anxiety. My body shuts down instead of fighting it anymore. And deteriorates. Ah, fudge. I mean, my arms are looking fucking massive, but still. Maybe the cartilage loosened up, but my whole arm just went numb. Like my third to last. And then I just tried to get a pump still because I'm worried about not being able to continue. Let's give it a minute. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're in the clear. Because I can go lighter now. So, I'll let my biceps rest for a couple seconds. Question asked. I forgot to answer. Chevy or Ford? Well, to be completely frank, Chevy all the way up until 1971, 72, depending on what model. And Ford pretty much every year after, because they had the F-150. So during that time where muscle cars were dying and were being detuned, the Mustang kept going, and the GM altogether struggled horrifically. And yeah, because their cars are boats, and need a lot of motor to push them things around. So even the Camaro was heavy. So yeah, Chevy never really, after the fastest muscle production car ever made in 1970, which is funny that people talk about like the 1970, what is it, Charger or something, the black Charger, or yeah, that would drag race everyone and take everyone. That's bullshit. Like, no doubt that car just was upgraded, but just upgrade a 70 Chevelle and it would eat it up any day, all day, no matter what, because Chevy had a better motor than the Dodge. Like, if anything, that should be the question when it comes to like anything like that. It should be like Chevy, Mopar, or Ford. But yeah, for looks, definitely Chevy, and then Ford never after that, because at least they had the Ford F-150, and then the Mustang had some down years, but it continued. And then it wasn't until the 80s that the Mustang became badass again. And then the Camaro tried to copy it, but it was just a heavier version with a weaker motor, and their 305s were garbage. So Camaro, so like Chevy never made a comeback, and they had the Corvette, which was just a joke up until like what, the 2000s, when they finally got independent suspension. But even then, like, those cars, it's crazy because like even when they started, they would still like be doing like 60, and then the tires would spin and it would just go whoop right off the road because the wheelbase is just too short. Same thing with the Mustang. You put any real power into the Fox body Mustang, it just wants to do donuts. That's why like those are like the best pony cars if you can make them go straight, because they're literally go-karts, like big go-karts. That's why it was so fun to like learn how to drive on one, like every day. That was my first everyday car. Well, I mean, technically I had technically that was my first everyday car. My first everyday vehicle was the Ranger. And yeah, so alright, now I cool down my biceps. So pretty much, yeah, I think I said everything I need to say. So yeah, definitely Chevy, because they had Yenko all the way up into the 70s, and then the only reason why Ford surpassed Chevy was because of the fact that they had the F-150. The C10 and the C5 are just garbage. They were huge and they all rotted out. All Chevys pretty much rotted out after that. And then Dodges, Mopar, don't even get me started. Mopar I don't think they ever had like a year where the car didn't rot out. or truck, especially like the early 90s. The 90s was like the worst era ever for Dodge. It was no longer Mopar at that point. Every late 80s, early 90s, Dodge, anything, rotted out immediately. And the motors were dogs. I was so close to getting a Dodge Dakota pickup with a V8 in it. But the V8 was such a dog. And you couldn't find one with a bed. Period. Like, the bed would be half rotted away. And it would just be mostly duct tape and Bondo. Not even joking. I looked for a while before because I've had 3 Rangers, and my second one was my best one, and then my third one was close, real close. If it was black, it would have been just as cool, but instead it was grayish purple. I mean, it looked badass because I put I think 32-inch all-terrain BF Goodwrench tires on it. They look so sick on any vehicle. And then the stock rims on that were badass because I think they were the whole ones that look like American racing rims. Same with my old my first Ford Ranger had American racing style rims as well, which was awesome. Like, so cool, like being able to buy like sets of rims and tires just like, you know, like anywhere because they're just off of an old Ranger. And all you gotta do is like polish them and then respray them like with clear coat, because they would oxidize like crazy. But anyways, I'm rambling. But I mean, that's, you know, it's okay because I'm cooling down. So yeah, but Ford definitely took it with the pickup truck, and then pretty much from the 80s on, they had the muscle cars, like, because of the Fox body, because the competing IROC Z, even with the 350 in it, was still only like 170 horsepower. Like, no, it's a fact. I'm not making that up. That's the actual fact. And yeah, now is the top year of the 87 IROC Z, which was the most powerful, best of the best of the Camaro during that era. Like, if in that situation, you were better off buying an 87 SS Monte Carlo, because the body didn't rot out, or really like a Buick Regal with a turbo is what was the best bet. But you know, those are rare cars. Like, to find one of those cars was rare. So yeah, it was like only like once in a while you would find one, and it would be like in mint condition, and then it was because they got some lucky deal through an inheritance or something, or had a neighbor with a barn or something. But yeah, those are the only times when I grew up that I ever saw Grand Nationals. I actually never saw one through my, you know, young muscle car era where we all drove around in our muscle cars and just lived life like we were like in Ferraris. But yeah, we did, for real. We would all cruise and then, yeah, just go to different places from place to place, and then that would be the day. But good old days. Back when, you know, it was before people lost taste in vehicles, but vehicles then were rare, like rare already, because of the influx of just car makers just making ugly vehicles after ugly vehicles, especially the Japanese. I mean, the only thing that they did that, you know, that were any good was um, the Mitsubishi Evolution and the Subaru um, Legacy and Subaru WRX. It's like, other than that, pretty much everything else Japan did was garbage. Like, all their Hondas were garbage. Um, Fucking tinfoil machines. Yeah, like if you got VTEC and you got like an actual JDM motor, and like means it's straight from Japan. It's not detuned for Americans. And yeah, yeah. But if you go and do all that, like oh my god, you're like screaming. I did a half-ass hack and slash um, job on my like swap over, which is exactly what they do. Oh my god, like I had a friend that, well, not really. He's not so bad. He's just a druggie. But yeah, he's just a dirty junkie. But yeah, he had like I couldn't believe it because he's such like a pathetic fuck. But he for some reason was like super into aftermarket, like hardcore, like 1,000 horsepower upgrades for like Subarus, Hondas, mostly Hondas. But yeah, crazy, like, you know, turbos all around the front, like big ass, like it's insane. Like putting like a turbo that's like this fucking big on a 4-cylinder, it's fucking insane. But hey, they did that shit, and those cars were fucking fast. They had like 1,000+ horsepower, and it was like, what the fuck? I mean, they didn't last more than a month, but during that month, they were really fucking sick. I remember that dude. He like fat. I went and hung out at his place. It was the most boring fucking thing I've ever done in my entire life. The guy literally just like, I don't know, he was like a mix of like a redneck and white trash and just like thug. So he was like childish, even though he was older. I think he was like 40 back when we were all in our early 20s. But he acted like he was younger than us. So yeah, that fuck. He went and did donuts in my front yard and we chased that fucker down. He didn't realize that we were all like drinking, and yeah, one of us wasn't a heavy drinker, but he was all about, you know, aggression. Went in, it's a shame how he looks now. But yeah, he pretty much, it's his wife. She's a fucking bitch. Like, she's a total Karen. See you next Tuesday. So, anyways, yeah, it's funny. We had my old best friend who's no longer with us, because he's an idiot, and just way trash, and he always has been. That's why I had to stop being friends with him. But this is a situation that was like kind of like a wake up call, like to show that. I mean, he put on a good front, but I think like when push came to shove, he was gonna stay in the truck. But yeah, we chased them down, tried to pull them over. I threw a bunch of CDs at them. I hit their car a bunch of times, and it was all this like Subaru that they were like, you know, it was like an old like a 90-something Legacy, and then they like JDM swapped it and whatever, and took like all the seats out or interior out except for like just the seats, and that was it. And that was like his cruiseabout car. But it was like, the fuck, we caught you. Can't be that fucking quick. Because he only had he had a 5.0 in his Mercury Mountaineer, but still, it's a heavy vehicle, and they're both all-wheel drive. So yeah, he should have been gone, but we caught him like 5 minutes away by just going in the direction we knew that fuckface lived, which is up in Massachusetts. So I just went on the road towards here where I live now. And yeah, fucking those little pieces of shit. He's such a fucking scumbag. That's that friend, like that frenemy that goes and that had all his teeth knocked the fuck out, and instead of, you know, having them all put back in his head, he took that money, which he could have just gotten money from his dad, because dad was like, you know, a workaholic and also an alcoholic. So he would like yeah, he would drink a lot. Yeah, and I guarantee you drink at work, and if no one else was there, because we drank at work when it would be a holiday, so I know he would drink. Like, why wait till he was on his way home? Like, there'd be no point. And now every time I talk to him, he's had a couple, and it'll be like noon. And it's funny because like he would be like all about responsibility, because we were machinists, so you know you have to go and do everything perfectly when you're a machinist. So he had like, you know, above scale like style of living. Like he's very always, you know, shaved every day, like very clean cut, and yeah, took care of his vehicle. A lot like my dad, but just without ever going to the gym ever, and being way more of an alcoholic than my dad is. But my dad also smokes grass like more than anyone I've ever met. Otherwise, he's like a moody little bitch. Like just everything is just confrontation. He's like the definition of toxic masculinity, because it's like fucking Mr. 5'9", little Frenchman. Fucking pussy. He only fucking acts tough because he's never had his ass kicked as an adult. Ugh. Oh yeah, and I just remembered I saw Jujutsu Kaisen season 2 is in the rankings of like most watched yesterday, and I was like, why is that? And it's because episodes are dropping on the 8th. It's just fucking awesome, which is Thursday. So of course I had to go and watch like my favorite like 3 episodes. And I mentioned this before, but yeah, it's Shikigami is who which is the being. I couldn't remember it before. But yeah, Shikigami. It's like one of the most like strongest mythical creatures like fucking ever. They're like pretty much like an almost unbeatable demon. But anyways, yeah, I couldn't, Megame Futsugori goes and summons him, and then Sukuna goes and has to go and like kick his ass and everything, and it's fucking awesome. That whole scene, everything, the whole episode is sick. Like the whole fucking episode is amazing. Because even the ending does what my other now new favorite show does. It's like they have like, because like they're one of like, you know, it's one of the few animes ever that actually has like really good like intro music or outro music. And yeah, so when you have that, you can have it line up like in your scenes, and it's like so like I want to say epic, but just really like nostalgic feeling, and just like all around, just like yeah, like they mean business kind of, and it's fucking awesome. So like that whole episode when Sukuna pretty much literally wipes out like the whole center of Tokyo, like the entire center of it with domain expansion, malevolent shrine. Now you fascinate me, Megami Futsuguro. I love Sukuna so much. He's so fucking awesome. I can't get over him. But I don't know if like he's stronger than Gojo. I just don't know. Everyone says like he's, like he's the most like powerful. And at the last scene, you hear Sukuna's voice when a guy's requesting to kill Yuji Itadori, which is like doesn't make sense because if Sukuna's speaking, that's him. Like unless something happens, because then they go and they cut to a scene where Itadori does some crazy weird thing over the bridge. I think to do with fishing. I don't know, something weird with the water over the bridge. After, so it's like, is he still him? And how the fuck is Sukuna like talking? And he's supposed to take over his body fully. That's why he says enjoy this while it lasts. But the entire time is pretty much death and sorrow. And then a team up with one of my all-time favorite characters and who I strive to be. All right, brother. Oh, he's so awesome. The heads of the Gion Monastery. And so, why am I blanking on his fucking name? I want to say Kato. I didn't watch that episode. But I fucking love their bond. It was like a bond that I semi had with my old best friend again before life got too difficult for him again and he fucking started acting all weird and shit. And then because life was difficult for me, he fucking like couldn't handle that. So he was like, yeah, I'm a friend, I'll help you out. And then I'd hear from him less and less and less. So now I'm on my way back up. I've reached out a couple times, but it's like, you know what? Fuck you, you little fucking weirdo. I mean, for all I know, he's like being a fucking pedophile still, with his fake daughter living with him and is sleeping in his room with him in his bed when she's fucking like, I'm not gonna say how old, but too old. She's just an idiot. So she has that innocence, but at the same time her mother's like the biggest whore ever. So it's like she's innocent but just desensitized to anything sexual or inappropriate. So that's why she watches watches adult things, like adult like music videos and stuff like that, and adult music, when she's supposed to be like, not even like old enough to be hitting puberty, but she just is. But isn't at the same time. It's the whole situation's fucking weird. All I know is that she is a bastard from a hooer mother, and she was you know, pawned off onto my old best friend as his own, to the point where it would have been like, you know, kind of, nah, it was like, nah, the whole situation is just fucked up, because like that shit only happens in fucking soap operas. Like, that's why there are soap operas, because like, you know, the whole like who's the baby's daddy is like a thing that, you know, only happens in fucking soap operas, because if you're that much of a whore, you normally don't live very long. um you know, karmic justice normally takes care of you for killing a bunch of fetuses over and over and over again. But yeah, uh and then they think, well, I mean, if I actually had the kid would, you know, be the product of drugs and alcohol constantly while, you know, the kid was growing, and probably abuse too. So the kid would definitely not come out. And he'd probably take Tylenol too for all the hangovers. So yeah, it's fucked up. I end up like talking shit about like just the women, like, I have to say, like, mostly just cisgendered women, because like, as far as I know, the trans that are completely passable aren't fucking disgusting, because they go and spend hours out of the day so that they can stay passable. When fucking cisgendered women don't fucking bathe and don't brush their teeth and fucking do drugs and drink and fucking fuck anything, all they do is sit back and take dick in their vagina. It's not like, you know, like trans women where, you know, you have to be delicate, because it's a lot more sensitive. Like, it's weird, and it's funny, because even though it's more delicate and everything, they're still fucking prostitutes all the time. Like, they're all fucked up. Like, cis and trans women, they're both fucked in the head. Like, I can't decide who's more crazy. The fundamentalists that are, you know, supporting the women stealing their husbands. I mean, trans women that are stealing their husbands. Because they're like somehow cleaner. Which is like, what? When it comes to that, you think like Thailand and fucking Philippines, and how dirty those countries are, those third world countries, and now. But no, because they got trillions of, well, they didn't get trillions, but they got millions of taxpayer dollars for those surgeries for free. A lot of them are now high-class hookers, because they look better than most of the females here, because they're not fat. Because up until like a few months before their surgery, before they became like a prostitute, they were thin as fuck, and then all they did was just like start eating, period. Once they start making money off being a prostitute, once they transition. It's fucked up, but it is what it is. It's disgusting. Like because it's like the ghetto. It's like you're either a basketball player or a football player or a rapper. Or for women, you're either a prostitute or a hairdresser or a waitress. It's like fucking just slums. And for some reason, they, you know, can't be normal. They can't just like be like, all right, I had a second chance at life. Now I'm better looking, because, I mean, you don't go in transition unless you were unhappy with the way he looked. And yeah, but I have not met someone that has transitioned that isn't fucked in the head. I've only met a couple that seemed actually normal and genuinely acted like women. Um, Otherwise, they overact and it's awkward, and they pretty much just, the only thing that's more feminine about them is just hygiene and all around looks. Like they go to the gym, they get plastic surgery. Cisgendered women, like with big boobs, don't care like about getting a gut as long as their boobs are big enough. But they're they're never even. They're always lopsided. The right one is always much bigger than the left one. And then they're like whiny cunts. I mean, see you next Tuesday is when they get pregnant. So like the only time you get to, because they have natural big boobs, they're like, why don't you go and find yourself someone that wants fake boobs? Like, I'm happy with my natural ones, even if they're like not nice. Fucking women are fucked in the head. It's like, why wouldn't you want the chance? Like, if all you have to do is just like, not stuff your fucking fat face, and maybe go to the gym once a week and just do legs, just once a week, legs and abs, and just get 2 surgeries, and boom, you're young for the rest of your fucking life, and also a sex icon for the rest of your life. You will forever make clothes look better, and also will forever look even better without clothes. Like every natural woman out there looks fantastic with clothes, but you take the clothes off and then everything goes, ugh. Who the fuck could be calling me? Sorry for the D shot. That was actually a place I've been, finding places to go and replace parts on my car that were damaged when I bought it that I didn't see. But the parts to replace them are actually really fucking cheap. I can't believe it. So I just got a call, and they're going to get a fucking really big part for me that's really fucking cheap for Monday. And then I gotta go and drive like down to like the just far away. I'm not sure if I'm going to that place or not, but it's gonna be like a 40-minute drive one way to get another part I definitely need. And then then there's just 2 other parts that I'm gonna replace at my leisure. One part I'm gonna try to avidly replace because it's like simple and it's just annoying and always in my face. But which I can't believe I didn't notice it before I bought the car, but I would have still bought it anyways, just because it's like a diamond in the rough. Exactly, I'm buying these parts that cost next to nothing, that are brand new, and I'm gonna go and swap them. Well, they're not brand new, they're just off of another vehicle that was just totaled. Because, yeah, they're fucking race cars. And I guarantee almost every single one that's been totaled was owned by a young fucking kid that their parents just bought them a car because it's literally a go anywhere badass vehicle that you can be impressed of and proud of right off the lot. So it's like, the fuck. Same thing with my old Mustang. Like, now I can't, like, even in the last like 2 or 3 years, the price of them went up. Like, pretty much my goal was to go and save up until like just gonna be difficult because I'm gonna be selling and buying a new house and setting up a new car show. I don't know if I'm even gonna do it this year. It depends on how quickly I move or sell my house. If it's in the next month or so, then that's that's a whole different story. And I also really enjoy having a big ass garage right now, so it's not like I mean, if I could like not be in this location, I would love to stay here. But this location is a fucking shithole because it's surrounded by fucking Democrats. They're just ugh. And people that weren't politically anything, that are just white trash, missing teeth, fucking getting drunk at the American Legion at fucking noon. Can't wait for that place to go into bankruptcy now that they can't fucking steal money from me. But for all I know, they fucking cut a deal with my sponsors through the trees behind them. And yeah, and by the way, fuck O'Reilly's. Everything is more expensive at that fucking store. And the only reason why anyone would even choose to go there is because it is supposedly a higher class, racial, like supposed to be like a white person version of AutoZone, Advanced Auto. That's why they're always next to each other, and why they actually stay in business next to each other, is because the richer, they don't have to be white, but the higher class person goes to O'Reilly's, and the lower class, young punk or dirtbag redneck goes to Advanced Auto, and if you're Mexican, you go to AutoZone. But it's true. That's fucking true. That's a stereotype that has not gone away ever since they've opened. Yeah, so, but seriously, fuck O'Reilly's. Everything is more expensive. The only time that they are a better store is when they have the buy one, get one of the Lucas fuel injector cleaner that you put in your petrol tank every fill up. So, that's the only thing. And then still, if you buy it offline, it's still even cheaper if you buy like a 10-pack offline, which is where I buy them. I don't buy shit at the auto parts store unless I have to make sure that it matches up, or if it's not the right part, I can return it, because I don't want to go and send something back if it's a car part, I'm working on it and I want it fixed right then and there. Yeah, so they're identical stores, but yeah, so far, when it comes to classic cars, there's been 5 parts that I've had to, and while I was sponsored by O'Reilly's, because Advanced Auto is corporate, so they don't have individual stores where they have the managers with like leeway to do whatever the fuck they want, which actually makes O'Reilly's a much trashier place, because their manager, if they're a piece of shit, trashy, fat fuck with that he's so dirty he looks Mexican. Lie right, like he's a lying fuck. Lied right to my face multiple times. And his, employees, they're all fucking weasels. And they're a bunch of fucking fat fucks. Like, seriously, they're all toothless, fat pieces of shit there. And then the only girl there, she looks like she would have been pretty if she like laid off the cheeseburgers and all the fat fucking everything, and has a fat husband, and yeah, they're all fucking just fat, disgusting pieces of shit. They're all just fucking, it's like that. It's like the mix of that old woman that used to that fucked her dog or whatever, or she had a nickname and she was on reality shows, and they actually became famous. They were all disgusting people, but yeah, she ended up getting like she said way too much fucked up shit, like, bestiality. She admitted to it and was like, oh shit, I shouldn't have said that. She's like, all you need to do is get yourself a nice dog. Like, you don't need a man. It's like, what the fuck? And then she's like, oop, I shouldn't have said that. And she's like, toothless and shit. And they had like a black version of her, like, who came out first. And they like put her in fucking music videos and shit, and she's so fucking gross. But then they like put all this jewelry on her and shit, and it's like, and then they like put her in heavy clothes to cover up how out of shape she is. But because she was like like a redneck community icon for like the bait and click people, like, why is this weirdo saying all this shit and saying, like, because for a little while, like, people that were extremely odd became famous, and like some of them actually made real careers and became like actually profited and like moved past their weirdness that was like their party trick, their fucking I don't know, attribute or whatever that makes them unique. But yeah, that was a terrible generation of the internet. That was fucking awful. Like, because all it did was make fucking people that people hated. Like, remember the fucking Hatchet Man? Really, he's a fucking, like, predator, like, molester, and would have, like, gay sex with older men to get money, and then ended up, like, after a while, after he like killed someone, went and then killed an old man because he was famous or whatever, and the old man wanted to sleep with him or whatever, so he was sleeping with him for a while, and I don't know. So his whole thing is that he never did any weird gay shit, which you can obviously tell that dude did a lot of weird fucked up shit. The way like, the reason why he got so fucking famous is because of how odd he acted after he murdered another person attacking a person with a hatchet. He's like, I was like, wha-bam! And then I was like, wha-bam! It's like, what the fuck? It's a hatchet and you're going that hardcore? Like, pretty sure just a kunk is all you need. If it's a hatchet, just one solid blow, you're gonna, execute whatever's in front of you, whether it's a log or a human skull. Pretty sure the log will get cut in half, and it's a lot harder to cut through than a skull. And yeah, and he was like, well, bam! I was like, yeah. And then he is like famous because he kept saying everything, and he had a weird fucking name, and I think it was made up and all that shit. But yeah. So, just to give you an example, fucking weirdos should never be fucking rich and famous. Like, fucking Mark Zuckerberg. He should not have fucking wealth and fame. At all. He should be locked away in a basement somewhere. Like, he should literally be some other millionaire's little brain. Like, that he keeps him in a cage and lets him go and do all of his, like, internet or computer processing, hacking, and whatever the fuck, just coding. Just have him just do all of his coding, but keep him on a leash. Like, you have like almost a trillionaire probably, who's probably exactly like Jeffrey Epstein, but like probably way worse because he literally has access to everyone in the world because he can literally creep on anyone's Instagram and Facebook. I think Facebook has more, censors to, him, but Instagram specifically allows him full access to everyone's account. So they decided that they're gonna put like age restriction on it, and they have to like have like I think I don't know. I think what you would have to do is have to do like a credit card, but then the parents are so fucking trashy that they just go and give them the information because they're fucking also trying to kill the baby that's still inside of them with Tylenol or make them retarded. Anyways. Seriously, if you're the fucking mailman, deliver the mail at the exact same time every fucking day. Like, oh my god. Their window of delivery is anytime between fucking 11 a.m. or no, 10:30 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. Fucking Democrats too. That's why they take so fucking long. And that's why they don't give a fuck about being on time, because they're like, fuck everyone. Our president isn't a fucking person that's raping our country. And he isn't like, a mental midget. So fuck the president. So I'm going to die on my sword and just do ignorant, stupid shit. Like, seriously, like, the amount of people that have gotten arrested in the last, like, year is, I mean, from what I've seen, it's tripled since November last year. Like, everyone's guilty until proven innocent if they're Caucasian. Like, seriously, can you believe that? You have fucking white cops going in hardcore enforcing white hate crimes. It's so fucked up, but it's just like, slavery. The blacks started slavery and created slavery, and every little piece of it, they didn't just like start doing it. They literally laid out the plan and indoctrinated it into society by just making it a must and being absolutely fucking ruthless. Like the difference between a black slave and a black slave owner was night and day. Because the fact that they saw themselves within their slaves, they would beat them twice as hard to make, make them fucking ugly so they can, be different. Like, so if every single one of their slaves are missing an eye or something like that, and he's the only person on the plantation that has both of his eyes, then he probably feels like a good looking guy. So, yeah, that's how they were. And that whole like it was like people claim that it was more mental manipulation than any other genocide, but the mental manipulation only lasted a little while. It was implemented that if you were a black person, you had no rights, you weren't free, you belonged to somebody, whether you knew who that somebody was or not. And that was just like the way things were, and how, and if you tried to fray from like the standard, just disgusting, non-civilization that they had, they'd fucking, everyone around you that's supposed to help you would, like, pretty much be like, hey, like, who the fuck do you think you are? And I'll fucking kill you myself, or I'll beat you myself, because if you're gonna try to run and get away, and if you actually get away free, then fuck you, I deserve to be free. So yeah, it was like a systematic, um, free from the status quo. That's what I fucked up with. That's why it took so long to say that. But yeah, that's what it is, and it's absolutely insane because black people forced their own slavery by going in, having the fear in them, and by putting the fear in everyone else. So it was like they oppressed themselves. I have never seen a culture other than the black race that has oppressed themselves more than any other race ever. Like, any type of oppression that they have is their own self-doing. Like Chicago. Last time I checked, I don't have to go into detail. If you're not a fundamentalist, you see how fucked up that place is. And why it is the way it is. Cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. And yeah, but that's besides the point. It's just the fact that, like, I'm annoyed with it. That's what it is. That's the fact. I'm just annoyed with it, so I'm complaining. And yeah, I am just sick and fucking tired of, like, like, dealing with third world mentalities in a first world country, and the fact that I'm surrounded by them, and that it seems like there are more and more of them every fucking day. Like, they're coming out of the woodwork. And I can't even judge them by their character, because the first thing they ask me is who I fucking voted for. And if I say, like, the brain dead Indian or black woman, then they'll be like, oh, yes, let's make a baby together. And then if I say that I didn't vote, then it's like my fault that that she didn't get elected. And then if I say, well, the lesser of two evils, she was the worst vice president we've ever fucking had ever. Like, no one talks about, like, like, rankings of good or bad vice presidents, because it's just a title holder. But she actually did more harm than any other vice president, times 1,000. 100,000, actually, because no vice president has ever really done anything wrong. So, like, not to like 1,000 plus times that she's done horrific things to our country that you can't take back, because she was just some stupid see you next Tuesday that married some guy named Dougie, and for some reason the highlight of her life was her birthday, which coincided with election day, which still blows me the fuck away that stupid fucking bitch actually thought she was gonna get elected. Like, the way she talks, like, about how, like, she's like, well, it was election day, election day, and and Dougie, he dropped the ball. It's like, election day, why are you even upset? Why are you even, like, anxious? Why is it any other day for you? Oh yeah, that's right, because you actually think that you belong as a president or vice president, or even in any type of Congress scenario, or in charge of any institution or any other person ever. That bitch is so fucking stupid that she doesn't deserve to be a manager at McDonald's. She would get fired. And she fucking lied about working there. She would get fired. That's why she had to lie about working there. Because she would get fired in a fucking heartbeat. She would like be like, oh, this is too stressful. Oh my god. And then cackle her way on home. After they told her to not let the door hit her on the way out. It's fucking just like everything to do with that. And then she had a Fagala, Tampon Tim, Mr. Roly Poly. I have a pickup truck that it's probably his masculine wives. I bet it's her truck. Like, why would he even have a truck? Oh, yeah, that's right, because he's a Minnesotan. He doesn't even have a Minnesota accent. And then he fucking ruined Minnesota by letting fucking... Okay, yeah, Somalis are going to go and be perfectly set in a hockey country. Last time I checked, I've never seen a Somali hockey player. Like, the hockey capital of America is Minnesota. Like, if you're not playing hockey, you're not playing sports. And then you put a race of people that are used to high temperature climates that, yeah, have bodies made for the high temperature. In case you didn't know, dark skin is much better in the sun. For some reason, you would think that it attracts heat, but it doesn't. So, yeah. Alright. Camera change. In Minnesota. But yeah, seriously. That's a fucking joke. That's why you'll never see another episode of Fargo. And thank God the fucking Nathan McKinnon got his Stanley Cup while he was there before the fucking Somalis fucking invaded. Because there's no way he would be able to focus on hockey and play hockey there. I haven't even seen, because I haven't been paying attention to hockey lately, because I've been too wrapped up in my own life right now to be focusing on a team that completely failed me the last 2 years, having the best overall team on paper by far. Like, you literally they have 4 all-stars. You have the 2 best defensive players and the 2 best offensive players in the fucking world. Like, the world. And you can't at least make it to the playoffs. So, yeah, until they have, a serious, like, season rolling, I'm not going to pay attention to them, because it's just going to be like last year, where they have, like, 2 or 3 wins in a row where they play like they should, and then they just suck. But now that Mike Sullivan's the fuck out of there, which he only wanted to coach his team that he fucking brought in and raised, and a lot of that team was already brought in from the previous coach, so he had a winning team. And all he did was, be, known by everyone because he coached the minor team, and he actually did a really good job coaching with them, because it was the minors. And he's a majors coach. Majors, it's not what they're called, but national. Oh, here's all fucked up. Damn hat here. Oh, these are so fucking hard to rip. That was bodybuilding by Holobic. I'm gonna do probably a couple more sets of those to make sure that they're ripped, but come on. Alright, I'll see you next time.